It is still the 2nd of March. We are looking at how we're going to wire or solder, I guess, to this board. And you still cannot see much there. Okay, well, let's do it this way. My apologies for the Blair Witch thing on the camera, but I'm working without a tripod. And how do I do this so that the glare goes away? Shut that off. Well, that's actually not bad. You can still see pretty good. Okay. So, pin 4 down here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where we've got our right signal. It goes in through here and then around and up and over to pin number 3 up here. Oh, pin number 3 up here. So I'm probably going to solder it in this area down here where it's a straight path. Pin 9, this guy, is left. He goes underneath the chip, comes out through here, goes past this area up and to pin number 2 on this driver chip. Again, this area is probably where I'm going to target. I'm not sure if I can do 2 wires in there. If I can't, my second area is up here, but I have to scrape off some of the paint. Next signal is going to be reverse, which is pin 10 here. Pin 10 comes up and around, goes to this pin, and then dipsy doodles in between, comes over to here. So we got actually it goes to 2 pins, and they're driven separately for the 2 different motors, forward, the front motor and the rear motor. And then pin 10 goes over to there and to there, which is pin 3 and pin 7. So again, I'm going to be trying to solder in this area here for the input to the micro, or to the Arduino, and this signal here. So those are the inputs to the Arduino, and then the outputs from the Arduino to drive 3.3 volts. For right, I'm going to be fairly close to the driver chip up here. For left, right beside it, or maybe a little bit further down. In here, for the forward and reverse, forward is a nice big pad right there, so I'll use that. Reverse has a big pad here, but it's got to go through there. I'm not sure. We'll see if that works. If it does, we'll use it. I've got to heat up the board and burn off the conformal coating in order to get a good solder on it anyway. Anyway, I'm going to take a picture of my sketch. Well, I guess I have to stop the video first. The pins at the top haven't been assigned yet. I'm trying to figure out which way is best in terms of which pin to direct the Arduino inputs and outputs. Right now I've got on here I've got digital 4 through digital 13. So there will be 4 of them assigned as inputs and 4 of them assigned as outputs. Originally I was going to put the inputs and outputs beside each other. So if like pin 4 was in right, out right would be pin 5. But they're not very close to each other physically. So if we look at the pins here, if I take one of the pins to here, one to the next one, and then 2 more over here, it looks like the first 4 would just be over here. The next two would be right beside them, going to the outputs on forward and reverse, and then the last two would be right and left up at the top. So that's probably how they're going to end up being allocated. Probably 4, 5, 6, 7 for the inputs, 8 and 9 for forward and reverse, and 10 and 11 for right and left. But we'll see. I'm still assuming that I can get this soldering done, which is not trivial at all. If I had a good drill bit and a little bit more confidence, I might try drilling down to the trace from the top and just putting a via in. But I think I'd damage the traces too much doing that, so that's not for this time. Anyway, I'm going to leave the audio on. I'm going to shut the video off, and well, maybe I'll leave the video on. We'll just see what we can do. I'm going to trace out the pins, and where's that connector? Okay, I pulled it out of here. I put it down somewhere. It's no longer in this side. There it is. So, making sure I get the order of the pins correct. If I'm plugging it in this way. So I'm going to put a piece of tape on D4, on the end with D4, just to make sure that I don't solder everything to the wrong place. So D4 is up there. Okay, so that means that ground is going to be down at the bottom here, right on that one. So I will find out which pin that one is right now, because that one's important. Turn on the meter, get my gator, touch. Okay, so which wire is that? Second one from the end. Second one from the end. I need to strip. And I need some wire strippers. Dinky little wire strippers. Because I have them, the smallest I got is 22 gauge. I'm not sure if that's small enough, but we'll see. The answer is nope, that's not small enough, because I had to turn the strippers at an angle in order to pull the conductor, or pull the insulation off. So we will make sure that it's still conductive. Okay, that's still a good ground. All right. Next, we are going to check D4. So D4, I expect to be the first pin here. And what about the second one? A good contact. Okay, so it is the second wire. Take the wire strippers, take off a small amount, verify. Good. Put that over there. We're going to take the processor out of the way. Okay, so that's D4. D5. I should probably push a little harder in there. So D5 should then be 2 wires over. And it is. So I'm going to take a pair of pliers down here. Just hold this to make sure I don't tear anything. Okay. Verify. Good. That's D5. D6 should be this wire. Verify. I hear nothing. And I miscounted. Well, how about this one, the right one? Oh, I will hold on. There we go. That's D4, 5, and 6. D7. Brings us to the end of the inputs. Should be this one. Okay. Our pliers, stripper, and then we verify that that is correct one. So we've got 4, 5, 6, and 7. D8 is going to be the first of the outputs. Okay. Pass out of the way. Pliers, wire strippers. That didn't work. Okay. We're just going to pull the plastic away. And use a small set of wire cutters to trim away the insulation. Because it stripped off of both sides, but it didn't come off, so. There we go. And we verify. That was 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 9. 9 should be right here. Okay, so we'll see if we can get the angle right this time. Yep. And verify. There's 9. 10. Should be this guy. Verify. Yep. Pliers. Verify. Let's just verify again. Not him. Okay. That is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is 11. 11 is the last one we need, thankfully. Okay. Then we'll get him stripped off. All right. So, keeping that. Oh, yeah. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to curl the ones that we're not using. I'm going to pull this a little bit more. Because I suspect these little wires are going to get in the way. I'm just going to split them out a little bit further. I can get them to move the direction that I want to, and perhaps get them out of the way when I need them to be out of the way. Okay. So, the ones that we're using are relatively straight, and the ones that we're not using are curled down. I'm going to get some tape. Let's see if I can tape these suckers out of the way. Just leaving the ones that I'm worried about. And maybe doing another layer. There we go. There we have our. Now, looking at this, I am not seeing these as a whole lot bigger or more robust than my wire wrap wire. The wire wrap wire was very difficult, or very fragile. So this is the wire wrap. It has less insulation on it, but it is about the same size wire. And it is, I don't know, 30 gauge, something like that. It's really difficult to skin, I remember that. Almost to the point where you use wire cutters. Yep, that's what I remember. So, the wire itself doesn't look a whole lot different. This is tinned. It's kind of nice that way. This, I'll have to tin the copper wires on the connector on the ribbon cable before I use them. My soldering iron has been running all the way through here, so I'm going to say that we would start you're going to have it like this. And this guy is going to be in like this. So I am going to say that 4 is going to be out right, which is D4. D5 is going to be out left. The next one down is forward, which is going to be D6, and D7 is then going to be reverse. Okay, so that's all of those covered. And then from the other side, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So D11 is going to be right. Left is D10. And then reverse is going to be D9, and forward is going to be D8. I'm just going to cross that out and put this way because it's going to be easier for me and less likely for me to screw up. Okay, then the other thing that I have to find in this is ground. Now ground is where the negative shows up, which is here, goes around here, goes around here. So I will probably connect to it right there. So I do have to remember to put the ground on. So ground, and I will put it over here. Okay. I am going to shut off the video, and then I am going to shut off the audio.